Florida, Michigan as the Gators.
Whoa! Over under 12.
I was about to say,
Under.
Great
Under.
What a job Don Brown did with the Wolverines as the defensive coordinator. They got so many beasts there with Sean Gary and such. And Florida, JV, the Gators, they're a top 10 team. Dan Mullen still working with the offensive defense, et cetera. But defense looked pretty good this year, didn't it?
Florida's defense looked very good. Florida's run game looked very good. It's interesting that Dan Mullen is a quarterback coach, and he did improve Felipe Franks. He did improve his game, but he needs to bring in his guy. Once he brings in his guy, I'm excited to see what that quarterback, I don't know who that quarterback's going to be, but I'm excited to see what that quarterback does to the offense. Does that quarterback revolutionize the Florida offense the way that Tua has revolutionized Alabama's offense, the way that Dwayne Haskins has revolutionized Ohio State's offense? That's what I want to see, because they are on the cusp of being very, very good again.
And one really interesting little storyline, the new redshirt rule, right? That's been a big part of our conversation. There's a guy named Emory Jones from Florida who's played in 3 games this year, which means what?
He can
Whole
redshirt.
game's ready to rip. And he can redshirt. So he's actually going to be available. So I'd be surprised if there wasn't a legitimate open quarterback competition between Felipe Franks and Emory Jones over the 15 bowl practices to see who has a chance to maybe head into the 2019 season as a guy with the inside track. Felipe Franks made progress, but Emory Jones, the home run hitter.
Emory Jones is an athlete, a freaky athlete. So when you think of Dan Mullen, you think of his offense, it's been QB run game. Emory Jones, a lot of time over the bye week to prepare for one team, one opponent, not the week-to-week grind when your head's swimming as a true freshman. So I think you will see a lot of him, and I think you're going to have to, because you can't just line up and be vanilla against Michigan, even though I wonder how many players Michigan, too, with Rashawn Gary being gone, probably being gone for the bowl
Devin
season.
Bush, their best linebacker.
More than could be gone for the bowl season.
And to that point, you mentioned that group of 5 teams fare so well because they're so motivated. How in the world is Jim Harbaugh going to motivate this Wolverines team?
Because they don't want this to feel like another same story, just a different day. I mean, this is a team that over the last few years in bowl games has not fared well. They lost to Florida State a couple years ago. They obviously lost last year to South Carolina, gave up a huge lead. This season has been successful. Now, it might not feel that way right now, but you go into the next season, the next off season, with more negativity because you've lost your last 2 games after you won 10 straight. I mean, this is a massive game for the perception of Michigan and just the perception for Jim Harbaugh nationally with how
about get
people
that
looking at
taste
him.
your mouth too.
Feel good about
you gave
yourself.
up a 60 burger. You got destroyed by your rival.
60 burger.
Dude, I mean,
usually a 50 burger, but 60
you
works
gave up
too.
a 60.
So what a burger.
I mean, you think about that. Like you have to have some pride and say, I got to get that out of my mouth. I got to bounce back from this and prove you're right that Harbaugh and these guys can do it, because the rival talk ain't going anywhere, and the Urban Meyer talk, that's not going anywhere, but you can still say this was a successful season.
Do you think it was a successful season for Michigan, even if they win this game?
Nope.
This is the best
11
chance
and
you had.
2. 11 and 2 potentially. 11 and 2 potentially is not a successful season.
Well,
you lose to a
you know where I'm going with this, Greg.
I hear you.
This is where I'm going with it. You pay a man $7 million a year, and the only reason you brought him in was to beat Ohio State. Matter of fact, you fired your other coach because he couldn't beat Ohio State, and he said that was unacceptable. Then you bring in Harbaugh because Harbaugh was supposed to beat Ohio State. I don't care what you tell me about the rest of the season, because everything was leading up to the game. The game. That's what we called it. The game. Everything led up to the game. You brought your best team into the horseshoe and got blown out. You were out the door. Third quarter bench cleared. They're playing their freshmen because you stunk. You stunk it up. There's no way that you're going to tell me that is a successful season for Michigan when you pay a man $7 million to do.
It's always about the $7 million for you.
That's right.
You tag $7 million.
Listen, I could pay anybody $500,000 to go get blown out by Ohio State. I could do that.
We saw guys making $6 million this year that went 4-8. We saw guys that are making $7 million go 7-5. Like, really, when you look at it, Jim Harbaugh's had a pretty good year.
Those guys should get fired too, by the way.
One of them's in year 1. It's going to be kind of hard for Willie Taggart.
Come on. I'm just letting you know.
He just needs an O-line.
You already know where I'm at with that. If you're going to get paid like a big-time guy, then you need to win like a big-time guy.
But they won't even beat Michigan State and Penn State. So now they're beating those teams now.
They beat Michigan State soundly. That was a good win.
Who would be?
There's no whoopee for this. Greg McElroy's going to be on the big board for Bowl Mania.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Are you excited?
Oh, yeah.
I am excited. And Bohemian Rhapsody, you give it 4 Maple Leafs. You love
4 Maple Leafs. Absolutely. Terrific.
I won't be doubted. Let's go.
All right, looking forward to that. All right, thanks to Greg McElroy, Champion 5, who's in. As we continue, who will be coming up next on the desk, you'll find out momentarily. Plus, the top plays of the year. Lots to look forward to as we continue. Yeah, some guys got trucked this year. Say goodbye to